This is an early edition. Normally we would be doing it at night, but today we're doing it at 3 p.m. because our guest is in Germany, so I didn't want to make it too late for them. And before we bring him on, I want to thank everybody who is watching now and in the future, everybody in the chat. Let me say what's up to some people there. Yeah, we're going to be doing let me turn this off. We're going to be doing kind of like a question and answer book review. This is Army veteran and author Benjamin Ramos, and his book, it's called Perfect Soulmates, and you would think that it's just about relations, but it's about life, and that's why I think we'll have a good discussion up here if the connection allows. But let me say hi to Lou. How you doing, Lou? EJ, happy Fuck the Cops Day. Bama Cam, The News, shout out to The News. Smash that like button, y'all. And thanks again for being here. Charlie Dog has been here for a while. Kiwi, what's up, brother? Big G Audits. Brandon Mitchell, welcome aboard. Thanks for your continued support. Yeah, and everybody out here, I thank you for the 100,000 subscribers that we just achieved. That's another thing. I'm supposed to be getting that plaque in the mail one of these days, but really that's something that it's really, I don't feel like it's mine, it's you guys's, really. You showed that much support in this channel, so thank you again. All right, without further ado, I'm going to bring up Ben so he can introduce himself and tell us about himself and where he is. Welcome aboard, Ben. How are you, brother? Can you hear me?
All right, okay? Thanks a lot, Rice Crispy. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, hopefully the connection's good because it's really heavily cloudy here in Germany, so we don't have like rocket speed connections like you guys do in the States. I kind of miss it. I was there in Texas for 10 years before moving back to Europe because I finally became a dual citizen with Spain. I'm still U.S. citizen, but also Spanish, so I can stay here as long as I want finally.
Nice.
So yeah, Army service was back in 2007 to 2011 in the Army, and then I did contracting from 2012 to 2013, and lots of stuff to tell from there. Pretty much the book and my philosophy on life and love came from my own soulmate. She dared me to just write a book after so much preaching, and so I did it, and it changed my life forever because this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
I bought it on Amazon. Where can you get it?
Yeah, it's in any bookstore electronically, ebook, and for printed, well, either Amazon for those in Europe and elsewhere, but for the States, you can get Barnes & Noble, even Walmart, Target. It's available pretty much if you ask for it. Pretty much, yeah, it's a worldwide distribution.
Nice. Wonderful, man. Congratulations on that, brother. The book is called Perfect Soulmates.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, Love Requires Perfection is a subtitle, and also the name of my movie that I created. It's a 1-hour movie for those who don't like reading or don't have too much time. Beautifully done, broken down into 10 smaller videos, and it's called Love Requires Perfection because it fits right with my book, and I hope more people actually watch that.
Yeah, what was the main inspiration for writing your book?
Like I said, my soulmate herself challenged me. She says, "Why don't you just write a book about it?" Because I preached it so much about life and love, and I wrote one of 2 books that I like to write. The next one is going to be about life and the mysteries and whatnot. And so a lot of people are eager for that one. But for now, I have to propel this book first, one at a time.
Kommt deine Frau aus Deutschland?
Nein. Sie ist Latinish. What is it? Latin.
Oh, okay.
What is it?
Cool.
Latina. Yeah.
Cool.
So Latina is the only way I go. It's just what I'm attracted to. So
Right on.
people are attracted to all different kinds. So
Yeah, you covered that in the book also, like intercultural. That's one of the chapters in there. And how people have to deal with that. Like my wife and I are an intercultural couple, and we've managed to work it out. A lot of things that you covered in this book. I mean, we've got it, but I do see how it can help me. How has it helped you? I mean, other than writing it and getting it published all around the world, how has the book helped you?
in every it's just my heart and soul poured into the book, all my experience, my philosophy, of course, on love in particular, and the way I see it. I don't think I could write it again. It's a masterpiece. It was magic. The flow is just, when I pick it up, I can't put it down myself. So um it's not vanity, it's the truth. I never thought I could be capable of writing such a, I mean, if I love it, I'm sure other people are going to love it.
I loved it. It was very well written, and just like you said, I didn't put it down. I started it and didn't stop until I was done. 265 pages. It's an easy read. Everything hit home, and I really liked your philosophy, like you said. I noticed there was no chapters. It was all just bullet points. You're just like flowing through it, right?
Yes, absolutely. I want it to be different, straight to the point, because sometimes when people run into a chapter, they're like, "Oh, I'll save it for tomorrow." No, no, no. We're gonna go as long as you feel like. So it's a very rare writing style. I'm not the only one, but it's very rare, and I chose it for that reason. I want it to be a special writer, to where maybe I can get my readers to not be able to put it down because of a chapter, and then they put the big marker in there. You probably might lose where you were next day. No, just if you, like you said, you read it really quickly, so that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm an avid reader. I love to read, but I'll tell you, it's the first uh, book that I read in 2024, and statistics showed that last year, how many books do you think the average American read last year?
Oh my goodness, it's so saturated by all kinds of literature. I can't imagine. I can't
One book
imagine.
was the average. If you read two books last year, you're above 50% of the United States.
Wow. Busy,
I
busy, busy.
I read 5 books on D-Day alone in parachute infantry.
Wow, that's that. I mean, it's a pleasure speaking to you. You seem like when you get serious, you get serious. And you really study topics, and I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you. This was a lot of fun to read. I love psychology, and like I was telling people before you came on, this book is not just about relationships, it's about life. I mean, you got everything covered in there. And
Yeah, and so hopefully my next, yeah, yeah, go
no, no,
ahead.
you go ahead, please. There's a delay, folks, so bear with us.
Yeah, yeah, just a little bit. So like I said before, life in particular, this is my love book and a preview about what I think about life as well. But the next book for sure, I don't know if it's going to be probably next year because I have so much on my plate this year. Um, about life in particular, and we'll go into what people call conspiracies and my thoughts on them. The main topics that people generally shy away from.
Yeah, so are you a part of the truther community, would you say?
Yes, I used to have a truth channel about a few years ago, but I had to pull the plug. I had like 2,000 subscribers, but in the end, nobody was by my side. They all just watched it for entertainment. Unfortunately, I spent 6 hours per video, because I had the time, throughout the week to make a few videos or a couple videos, broken in town, whenever I could work on them. Anyways, here's a problem. The number one problem: you have what we call partial truthers. They believe this, but they don't believe that. And I'm like, well, how can you be smart enough to, see past the lies in this field, but not smart enough to see past the lies through this one? And it comes down to what people choose to believe in, and it's just a
Cognitive
no-win
dissonance.
situation. Right. Right.
Yeah, a lot of people, because look at what we're talking about. We're talking about the truth, and the truth, hurts. And a lot of people are not ready to receive the truth, no matter how easy you lay it out for them. They just feel comfortable getting plugged back into the matrix and tasting that steak, you know. And
Yes.
I gotta admit, I'm kind of like fighting my own belief systems every day when I learn something new too. You know what I mean? And I know that there's a lot of bullshit out there sometimes, but there's a lot of truth sprinkled in it. And then I got to dig for that truth. Once I find that truth, then I find out, hey, something else that I figured was bullshit was actually the truth. And I got to go back to that. So it's kind of confusing. So to expect people to have revelations that you might have had right away when you have them, that's not fair. Give them time, bro, and keep preaching. Start that channel back up. We'll shout it out, or start another channel. I have friends in the truther community who can get you more subscribers than I can. And I don't know if you've ever heard, shout out to Ceiling Fan Man. He's a great guy, Richard. You could see his channel live on Fridays, Friday nights. But have you heard of him, Ben?
No, I haven't heard of him. I used to follow people like Eric Dubay. I could barely remember others, but
Yeah.
mainly, oh boy, it's been such a long time. But people talking about World War II and the banker wars and the American dream is dead. And I'll just tell you, when I got back from Afghanistan in 2013, I'll never forget it. I was in La Quinta Hotel in Texas, and I I watched a few YouTube videos. I'm like, what's going on YouTube? It's been a long time.
Yeah. Welcome
And
home, by the way.
I
I'm sorry. Thank you and welcome home.
thank you. I appreciate it because I returned to a completely different world, and I had no idea about truths and truth community. So I never forget it. I started panicking, and my soulmate was like, "Hey, what's wrong with you? You're supposed to be relaxing." And I said, "Oh my goodness, I've been lied to my entire life. I know it. I could feel it. I was sweating, and that was my awakening. And since then, it's been a roller coaster ride of, at the very end, me giving my own truths, and it's been nothing but wisdom and intelligence. But it's just sad because I wanted to believe that reality, you know."
Yeah. Well, have you written any other books?
No, not yet. I will be having a fitness book coming out, about a transformation that I've made, and also, like I said, the next book, on pretty much the mysteries of life, but it's gonna have a different title.
Yeah, the book about your revelation of truth. I want to read that one, man. Sounds like you had a
Right,
powerful experience. So
right. But I have to be very careful because I believe in certain truths that are literally illegal to believe, and people will cancel you. So I have to either not mention it or mention it in the most legal way possible, because I know things that some people just either refuse to even consider, or in my army experience, some things I just can never say because, well, they're always listening, right?
yeah, yeah, especially on these channels, they monitor us. They have somebody eating donuts watching this right now. So thanks for the extra view there, Ed.
Right, right.
But
Um,
yeah, no. Back to the chat. I want to thank Remy for your service too, man. For you doing what you did, not for what you were told to do. You doing what you did. That's what I thank people for. And yeah, let's see if we get you an ebook, Remy. Shoot me an email, writescrispy@gmail.com, and I'll get you a copy of that, brother.
hey, thank you
Everybody
so
else,
much,
you're gonna get
Remy.
your own. and and what is it? It was only like $20, right? Something like that.
Yeah, it's literally the lowest because I was gonna put that puppy at 45 because I spent over 800 hours, but I was like, no, 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 no. This has got to get to as many people as possible. Let's do
Yeah,
the minimum of 25 because of printed book, but 20 for the ebook. Um, I just want everybody to know what I stand for, and that's why I give out free content on my channel. because I'm all about getting people involved more than the financial aspect. That should come later with success.
Right. And without giving away too much, let's go back to the book and touch on some of those bullet points. Like love. It's one of the first bullet points or chapters in the book. What do you define love as? I have my favorite definition from my favorite psychological theorist is it's the ability to commit yourself to promote happiness and growth in the other person, regardless of your own feelings. How would you define it?
Yeah, you broke up in the beginning there. But yeah, I don't know if you could repeat it, please.
Yeah, no, to cover some parts in the book without giving away too much. What's your definition of love? I saw it was one of the first bullet points that you covered.
Right. Well, I can't exactly memorize my book, but I could reference that love is just the most important. That's the reason why we exist. Um, so it's I have a copy of my book. I can actually sneak a peek, but if I remember correctly, it's the reason why we're here, and I also go over the definition of evil. No, actually chaos, and
Yes.
then it just goes from there. It's actually in not chronological order, but in a particular order that flows, getting more intense as the book progresses. So we start basic with life, well, love first, and I believe, and then life, chaos, and just the basics.
Like I said, we won't give away too much. I'm only going to cover about 80% of it on these topics, but like I'm going to leave the final chapters to the reader because this is a PG-13 show.
Right. Absolutely.
You have some tips and tricks there at the end, even covering sex toys. But that's one of the things I differ. I got to be the star of the show, bro. I'm not bringing in anyone else.
No, I feel you. I totally understand that. That's a reward. If you reach that far in the book, that's your reward.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you also. One of the earliest points besides love was perfection. And what do you mean by perfection? Like, what do you define that as?
Right. So you know how people say, nobody's perfect. A perfect love doesn't exist. I'm against that because I believe that perfection can be attained. For example, if you go to a restaurant and you eat a plate and you're like, oh my goodness, this is just perfect. I want it over and over. There's nothing you could do to make this plate better. Well, why not with your relationship? Because it takes two, right? If she wants to do
Yeah.
everything she can to please you and satisfy you, why can't you do the same? And then there you go. You guys are both chefs in the kitchen, right? So it takes two to create. That's why they say making love. How good, what kind of love are you guys creating together? How deep is your love? Like the Bee Gees say, right?
Yeah. And what type of business do you want to get into with your, or have you gotten into with your perfect soulmate? Like I saw that's one of your goals that people should set is getting into a
Right.
business. So I know you're a private contractor, and your soulmate. I don't know what she does, but aside from your regular professions, you're talking about getting into a joint business venture on the side, right?
Right. So you don't have to say goodbye every morning and miss your partner. What a beautiful idea to just work together in a business. And but some people say they couldn't stand their partner all day. I disagree. You should want to be next to each other. Otherwise, what kind of love is that? I mean, I've heard people say that.
Yeah, I hear people say that about their kids too. They're like, "You went cross country with your kids?" The whole I'm like, yeah, and we had an awesome time. We watched one movie the whole time on the tablet. The rest of the time, we were enjoying our family. It's
Yeah.
not hard, folks. It's something that if you work at it and it it just works out right when you do it right. You have to practice. You have to if you're not living in a happy family right now, just take that first step. Swallow up your pride or your grudge that you have with whatever spouse or whatever person in that house that you're angry with, and try to make it smoother. Try to be better and kinder to each other. So it'll work out in the end. Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, belief. Yeah.
So friends and family is another part of your relationship. advice. And how do you tie that in the book when you were talking about friends and family, like especially what we were talking about earlier with the intercultural relationships? Friends and family play a big part, right?
Yes, absolutely. See, that's a part of my book that I vividly remember is they can be a nightmare because you have her family, my family, and so many people in between, friends, colleagues, co-workers. And so if you're gonna juggle a lot of this anniversary, that birthday, this, it's just, it can make your relationship chaotic. What about your guys' time together? And that should be priority, but it's been seen, unfortunately, in cultures as selfish.
No, no. There's in Spanish, the word for married is casados. And I like to point out casa para dos, a house for two, not any more than that. Mother-in-laws or anybody getting involved. That's not fair to your children. If you're overbearing and not letting them live their life how they should and choose to live it, that's not good parenting. Even if you've already done your parenting job, you're never really done. If your kids are married and you're getting involved too much in their thing, that's not good. Let them, guide them and nurture them, but don't, like you see these weddings where the mother-in-law is making it all about her. That's not the way it should be, and that's not from personal experience. I had great in-laws. They both passed away, rest in peace. But I'm glad they did such a good job with my wife. She's showing the same thoughtfulness and compassion to our kids that she got from her parents. But I'm sorry, this is your interview.
No, it's all good. I appreciate the extra insight because everybody's situation is different, and so I always love hearing it.
Yeah, so no tickling. I read that part and I totally agree.
Right? Yeah. Over. That's an interesting one. You see, that's why I love this, is because I don't know which topics the reader's going to point out to discuss later. It's very exciting. The tickling, because you can overstimulate a baby, a child's nervous system, and they might develop a disorder that way. Who knows? But I mean, that's a little extreme, but it's possible. And it's hard to breathe when you can tickle someone to death. That's what I put in there. So just be careful. Like, yeah, tickling could be fun, but moderation, right? Just a little bit more cautious.
It's like a little passive aggressive sometimes. You're getting control over somebody and they like, stop, I can't breathe. You're like, no. That's not cool. So knock it off.
Exactly.
So choosing is another bullet point. Choosing your perfect soulmate. How did you find your Latina?
Well, I was lucky. It was destiny. It was more than a coincidence. It's destiny when it's like, wait a minute, what's going on here? This is a little too perfect. And then we met in the gym, and from there, I mean, come on, like it was. I didn't even, we didn't look at each other that way. We first became friends. You see, that's why we know the proper process of becoming eventually soulmates, which is maybe 10 years down the road, sometimes longer for a lot of people. But it's because one thing leads to another. You have to become acquainted and then friends. It's attraction at first sight, maybe, but friendship should come first, absolutely, and then everything comes into place if you're patient enough.
Yeah, my wife and I met online, and she was kind of embarrassed about the fact that it was on MySpace. So you remember MySpace? You're the first person you become friends with is Tom, the creator. So we would tell everybody we met through a mutual friend, Tom, not tell them. But we got a chance to court online. And before we ever met, we talked to each other for a couple months. And then we met. And from there, you're right. It takes a couple years to share your secrets, dreams, and goals with somebody you want to share those things with, to become entirely connected to them to where you can decide to marry them and continue dating them. So give it at least 2 years to work out your differences and personality quirks and your compromises. That's another good part of your book. You talk about compromising. Like, I was a
Yes,
stickler about a lot of things,
that is
especially
a very important part.
you're in the you were in the military, and we had strict regimen and stuff about cleanliness and orderliness and stuff. One of my things was the toothpaste. Like you got to have it like nicely. My wife just squeezes the toothpaste out and leaves it all crunched up there, and I've learned to live with that. Personality quirk.
My toothpaste, I use it all the way to the very end. I do the rolling technique, you know.
Same. Yo, John Eagle, what's up, brother? So yeah, as far as jealousy and all that, like I'm glad you pointed that out. I don't know anything about that. My wife doesn't either. I know for a fact, like we both have this mutual thing. Like I don't want anybody else. You know, it's just a perfect soulmate, like you said.
Right. It could turn into an insecurity because it's a fear, and you don't want to lose someone you're just getting to know. You're investing your life into this person. So the
Mhm.
fear might be there for a lot of people and then have arguments that don't need to happen. That's why I say at least 10 years, no arguments, no misunderstandings. That's a tough goal to acquire, but it is possible.
Yeah, and I don't think you covered this also. I don't think that I'd want anybody else after she passes away. I think we're both that way. Like I'm happy with what I've accomplished in my life and who I did it with, and I don't need to try to spark something new with somebody else after she's gone. God forbid, if I'm still around. But Ceiling Fan,
Yes.
speak of the devil, we talked about you, not the devil, um, just a little bit ago. That's the guy I was telling you is in the Truther community. Go check out his channel Friday nights.
Absolutely.
So
Um,
yeah, go ahead, man. Tell me more about your book. Sorry.
yeah. Let's see if it gets back here. Yeah, I was gonna say that what you're saying that's a very tough part of the book that I had to write. A lot of editing. What happens if tragedy strikes, and that's why I left it up to the couples to decide. It's. I don't think it's even answerable. It's up to each their own at that point. It's very difficult.
Yeah, and how to overcome jealousy. Like if you're jealous, that's an insecurity, and you want to talk about that?
Yeah, that's what I was saying before about jealousy is it could be an insecurity, but also a sign of love. Don't forget, because if she wants you all to yourself, then of course she's gonna be jealous. And then she'll ask you, "What do you think about this girl? What do you think about this?" Oh no, one to rate them from 1 to 10. What are you trying to do? Why are you doing this? Don't set me up for an argument.
Well,
Because they
there's
pay
that.
attention who you're looking at and how you're looking at them, and they're always studying you to make sure, because well, that's a good thing, because they don't want you for anybody else. They don't want to share, and that's a great sign of love right there.
She does give me a hard time. Like I can't watch a Jessica Alba movie. So I think my wife is jealous of celebrities. I guess celebrity jealousy. That's it.
It's so funny you just said that, because I just watched Machete again for the heck of it, and Jessica Alba in the shower scene.
Oh, I wouldn't know about
There
that.
you go, man. I
That
know
movie
what
came
you
out
mean.
after I started dating her, so never saw it.
Right? Nah,
Thanks
she
for telling
she
me what
likes
I'm
watching those things too. It's all fun. Oh man.
No, I'm gonna sneak that movie in somehow later on.
Yeah, so Machete is another thing, man. It's insane.
Yeah, I'll watch it in the man cave. You talked about that and how we need our man cave.
Yes, yeah, I'm It's so awesome that you pointed out. It's yeah, man cave, because they have a cave of their own, if they go out dancing with other, friends, girls night out, guys night well, pretty much in if it's a man cave. But yeah, you need your man cave. I even have a sign in my room that says man cave, and it's she knows what's up. I stopped playing games a few years ago so I could focus on all of this, and Hopefully, when I become more successful, then I'll go back to things like Call of Duty. But,
Oh, I was going to ask what games. Call of Duty. I actually just started playing for the first time in a decade last week with my friends that I started playing with in 2006. And a couple of my other friends who actually pretty much created Rice Krispie. They told me, "Oh, you're such a good shit talker on Xbox. You'd be great for this." And they pretty much
yeah,
got me to do this.
yeah. My favorite. I used to start Rainbow Six on PC, and then later on Rainbow Six Vegas 2 on PlayStation, and it's just so addicting. You got to
Yeah,
put it down, guys. Be productive. Do something else with your life. But it's okay to play a few games, but don't
yeah,
let it take over your life. It's so addicting.
yeah. And you know what? And if you're good, I mean, like me, I'm at the top of the leaderboard after 10 years. I still got it every game. Searching
Yeah,
these.
that's what I would say. Focus on your success first. A career like what I'm doing takes a lot of guts. To make it on my own, and if it works, then heck yeah, I'll reward myself with such things. But for now, that 85-inch TV is gonna have to wait.
Yeah. Yeah, and for now the 65-inch is just fine. you know. But
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
so it's not like I said. Your book is not just about relationships; it's about life. But you also have um, advice for people who are not in a committed relationship. You have advice for friends with benefits. I saw in there.
Right, and online dating as well. To be very careful. Even the part on prostitution, for example, it's just a simulated failed relationship. So it's kind of like Groundhog Day. They actually call it groundhogging. I did a stream on it. It was
Oh yeah,
like one of my first streams. And it's just pretty much people who they select the same type of people and they don't really make progress and they end up all alone pretty much in the end. So
yeah,
it's single life sometimes is not out, always what even millionaires who live a single life, sometimes they just get sick of it all and they wonder what life is about. They commit suicide or go to drugs and alcohol. And I'm telling you, love is the answer. It's not gonna. You can believe whatever you want to believe, but in the end, because I have people who are hardcore single people, I said you'll come around. You'll finally figure it out that finding that perfect soulmate is going to be your mission, whether you like it or not. It's going to come automatically. We're humans. We need this most powerful force in the world. But they want to act like they don't need it. It's not important, and there's a lot of passive people, unfortunately.
if you feel like you don't need it, think, and you're doing great, you're doing awesome. Think about how much better you would do having an awesome, uh, not codependent, but interdependent support system there. Somebody who will boost you up if you're feeling down, like all the time. It's a great, like, if you want to succeed in anything, don't do it alone. Get help, and help through life. Having a good partner through life. I mean, my wife has always worked to making me a better man, I think she has. Not great. I'm not an asshole anymore. I'm just an ass half now. I say.
Yeah, I also included. That's why I put in MGTOW in the book because it's getting out of control these days. From they call me a blue pillar or something, and then red pill, purple pill, black pill. And I spoke to these guys, one of the top guys, and he literally is like, "What do you rate yourself from 0 to 10? What do you rate your supposed soulmates?" I'm like, "You guys are all about numbers. Are you guys serious with this?" So it turned from men going their own way, taking a break, reassessing, reevaluating. Okay, maybe I should just take a break, right? Focus on me first. But then it turned into this monk system to avoid it. Just hate the opposite gender. It's insane.
Yeah, I've seen some disturbing groups out there that just have this vile thought about women, and I don't see how they can act like that. I mean, if everybody has a mother, come on. And I feel that some anger management would help those people more than what they want to do to other people.
Yes, thank
Being so
you.
angry,
Yes.
especially at women. I come from a family of strong women, so I understand, how powerful women can be. But you're a strong man. You should be able to overcome anything that a woman throws at you. You know, um, in bad relationships and stuff, some guys let you let that power. Everybody's power comes from your reaction. So don't give them power. And saying that they have all the power and hating them for it, it's not the way to go. Love women. Women will love you back.
That's right. I know you know what the last topic of the book is. I always save that for the readers. That's what it's all about right there for me. Is that last uh, part of the book? That
Choice.
last.
It's not
No,
toy.
not that. you know, I have to excuse myself because I do jump from that and to the end, but it's because you reach the maximum. I consider the orgasm the biggest pleasure, right? So then it jumps into bam, back to philosophical, and so it was like the crescendo, the apex, if you will. Then I just bounced to the most important uh, topic of them all at the very end. The key to happiness, right?
Yeah, no, don't be a simp either. I am not pro simp. Do not, no te dejes manejar. That's what a simp is. Don't let yourself get managed. Be your own man, and you'll attract strong women that'll make you stronger.
Oh, simp channel. Oh no, that's horrible. Yeah, you'll get a lot of that. It's unfortunate. It's just because they got burned in the past, and
Yeah,
so they want to
that's
take it
what it
out
is.
on people. Whoever's positive online, it's like crabs in a basket, right? You got to bring the other person down, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, you'll find somebody. True news now. Keep looking, man. Don't give up. And if you don't,
Word,
feel better. Okay, I wish you the best too, man.
exactly.
Richard Bonner, good to see you, brother. He said, "Strong women, the sacred feminine. Truth is a lady, and she can only love a warrior." No put.
Oh wow, very nice, very nice.
Yeah, yeah. The dating pool sucks. I'm not gonna lie. True news now. But I mean, don't lose hope. I mean, it sucks, but
Yeah, it should be easier because if there's so many toxic women out there, well, you know who to toss away in the garbage bin, right? And if you need to move states, move countries, do it. But there's no excuse, except for yourself and how far you're willing to go.
what were your first? What was your first date with your perfect soulmate?
Oh, right over here in Germany, and it was magical because sex wasn't even a thing. It was just like I said, friendship, deep conversations, and then it just happened one day where she asked me if she can robar un beso, right, rob a kiss,
Wow.
and I said, wait, what? And
No, that's
so
wonderful,
from
man.
there, it just changed. It was just magic. Like everything was twinkling everywhere, man.
When a girl makes the first move, I'm sorry, I like that too. I that's nice.
It was so beautiful, man. There's so many beautiful things to
So you
remember.
guys went to a park or something that happened? Because that's what
Yeah.
I always
Yes.
recommend. The first date should be a picnic. You're not in a movie
Yes.
theater where you can't talk to each other. You're not in a loud nightclub. You can get some grapes, some booze, maybe if you want, a little wine, and if not, just some grape juice and some cheese and a blanket, and that's romantic. And you get to talk and learn about each other and see if you want a second date, which I think should be at a horse track. And hear me out. You go if it's racing season. You take her and you get a box seats. It's only like $10 at a race course if you have one nearby you. And maybe you win something, you place a bet, but you dress up nice and you tell her to dress up nice, and you see how she dresses up, and you know whether or not she'll, be able to dress for the company picnic or the company Christmas party, And I think, it's just a nice, like, date that nobody really goes on. And third, camping on the beach. That should be the third date.
Yeah, absolutely. You know your stuff, man, because that's how it happened for me. The park, the forest, it was, we call it El Banquito. There was a bench where it started getting steamy, let's just say that. But I
Nice.
remember held her in my arms, look out to the sky, and I said, we're gonna make it together, and we made a point. This is really special that I share with people. Because you're really mature about this topic. We chose not to get married to just prove a point to the world that you don't have to get married in order to be in love. And so over 20 years later, we're like, wait a minute, I think we should just get married, right? I mean, this has been going on too long, right? We already proved to everybody that we don't need to get married. So should we get married now? I mean, it's kind of
Yeah,
like an
dude.
inside joke that went way too far. So, but it's beautiful. We proved to the world, you don't need to get married.
Are you gonna?
Yeah, we definitely do. I mean, but so we're not really religious, but we respect people's religions. But so the whole church thing is out of the picture, like you said, maybe on the beach or somewhere in nature, something natural, not with the priest, but just somebody to marry us.
You don't need
Just
somebody to marry you in Colorado. My cousin and her husband did it right in front of a tree in Colorado, and
there we go.
yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of like a Braveheart movie scenario. It was a really beautiful scene where they just went to the forest and did it themselves. Not with the diamond ring, but with a little wooden, twisty ring. So, that's how we feel about it.
Cool, man. And where in Germany are you guys?
On the Rhineland Faults, there's a lot of Americans. You got the air base, the army post, and yeah, it's really quiet. So I recommend other parts of Germany if you want to do like Oktoberfest or
Yeah.
Berlin if you want to party. Don't come to Rhineland Falls expecting like festivals and carnivals. It used to be that way
Where
in
are
the
you at
'90s, but
exactly? Like, what's the nearest city? Like,
well, that I have to keep to myself because I have a family that didn't go too well, and they're always trying to spy
oh,
on me and such. And I that's why I
I got
offer my
you. I
help
got
to.
you. No problem. Yeah,
Uh,
upset. I got you. I
yeah,
love
yeah,
German. I'm studying German. I speak German now. I've
nice.
been all over Germany, and I have friends from all over there too. So I was just wondering where you. I thought you said Rhineland, and
Hmm.
yeah, I traveled all over the Rhine. So Koblenz,
Oh
my
yeah,
and
yeah, the
Cologne.
river, yeah, the Rhine River, yes. But yeah, Rhineland-Pfalz is just a huge province, southwestern Germany. And
Oh,
so, like
okay.
I said, there's not much to see. It's just farmland and pretty much maybe a few castles. But if you guys
Yeah.
want to see like the better parts of Germany, definitely go somewhere else. It's a lot more exciting.
Well, actually, the brothers Grimm got their inspiration from Schwarzwald, the Black Forest, which is in the southwest. And we went out there. We went to Baden Baden, which is where rich Europeans go to retire. Man, like the sidewalks have red carpet on them. It was so cool. We saw a Bruno Mars concert when we got there. We didn't even plan on it. He was just there, and
Oh yeah. Yes, you have a great point. The Schwarzwald is very very beautiful, and they produce water there too from the wells, and also like I want to say the number one thing that I love about Germany is it's so peaceful. Like because when I was in Texas for these past 10 years recently, um, it was so noisy. My neighborhood went from perfectly quiet to insane as the Californians started flooding Texas. And I was in San Angelo. It was like in the middle of nowhere, pretty much, but so anyways, I enjoy the peace and quiet over here. The most best nights of sleep possible. I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful right now.
it's funny you say that because I found that same experience. I thought that Germany was going to be cold and strict, and it is very, like you said, peaceful, unexpectedly peaceful. And they got it all out of their system last century.
Yes.
We're good now.
Yeah.
I love Germany, and they're just they have a healthy attitude about that too. You know what I mean? They educate their people on like, hey, look, we messed up and we're never going to do that again. And this is how we can like, move forward. And they're very progressive and healthy country, I think. I know there's a lot of stuff going on now that might be changing all that, but from when I went in 2011, I really loved. I mean, one of the cleanest countries that I've ever seen in the world. You know?
Right, right. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. They love walking, folks marches. It's just a people march, and either like 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 20. They're very they like walking their dogs. They love dogs. They even have dog hotels somewhere. But
Very
they're very health conscious. Not everybody eats. Yeah, not everybody eats like the sausages and bad diets. That's kind of like an exaggeration. They love to celebrate with that food mainly, but they do take care of their. They, for the most part, most of them they play a lot of soccer. They like to take care of their health for the most part.
Yeah, and in a small town in the mountains of 40 people, there'll be 40 clubs and 40 members in each club. Everybody gets together for a chess club or dance club or music club, polka club, walking club, and I like that. It's very communal, and the families are very close knit. Like grandparents will take care of the grandkids, and they're held and more useful in their old age out there. You know what I mean? I know I saw people in Switzerland and Austria working in their 80s. All over the countries.
Yeah, absolutely. Because then there's Austria, Luxembourg, Liechtenstein, and Switzerland. They're all kind of related with the same type of culture.
Mm-hmm. And every one of those countries, you could set your watch to the trains. They're always on time.
Yeah, lately they've been having issues, but yeah, for the most part, Deutsche Bahn and all the others, they're very much on time. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. One of the best train rides I took was from Baden-Baden to Munich, and it had a shower in it in our sleeper train. It was a slow train, so we took it like that.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah. I think that's
nice.
from
Yeah.
that one, or was from Vienna to Venice. We took another sleeper train there. It was nice.
Yeah, trains are very useful in Europe.
Yeah, and we could do a lot better job out here, man. I mean, Uzbekistan, the country that Borat makes fun of, has a better high-speed rail system than we do. That's a fact. We have this one high-speed rail here in Florida that just opened up, and it's way too expensive. It's not practical, but it's nice. I want to go on it, but just once,
Yeah, there is something. Yeah,
Go
there
ahead.
is something. There's something special about, like you said, the other stands, not just Pakistan and Afghanistan, but there's Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and Turkmenistan. I think is it in Turkmenistan where they have that magical city with golden rooftops and such, and they call it the New World Order city.
Is that Turkmenistan or Azerbaijan? Because Azerbaijan is beautiful, man. I think Willie D of the Ghetto Boys, he lived out there for a little while too. And yeah, I've subscribed to this channel. I forget what it's called, but I watch it sometimes just to zone out. It's just farm life, and it's a couple of farm people making food there on the farm, and it'll show a rooster walking by, and it's Azerbaijan, a farm out there, and it's gorgeous.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I recommend people to study. Yeah.
you go ahead, study what?
All right. Yeah, I was just saying to study geography. Don't just think it's the U.S. and another country. Like, get to know the world. Where you'd like to visit and maybe live one day, because you never know. I've seen this one YouTuber. He's a comedian. He made it big, like 1 million subscribers in the US, but then China loved him more. So now he's living in China, and he just exploded in China. It's crazy.
Yeah, Mark Twain said, travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness. and many of our people need it sorely on these accounts. Broad, wholesome, charitable views of men and things cannot be acquired by vegetating in one little corner of the earth all one's lifetime.
Very well said. Yeah.
Yeah. He also said, if you want to see the dregs of society, go down to the local jail at the changing of the guard. He knows about these screws. But all right. Dreams and goals, like I was saying, like what you would share with your partner. What are your dreams and what are your goals? And you know the difference, right?
Yeah. Well, my goals are, professionally at the moment, but one goal still remains constant, which is to stay together forever. And I mean, we don't like to talk about death or whatnot, but who knows? Maybe through the power of love, someone can live maximum years possible. I'm not going to deny science or anything, but I just believe maybe we're missing something in life that could unlock the key to. I know it sounds crazy, but maybe even immortality, if it exists, who knows? Maybe love is the answer, but some people don't like the idea of living forever. So who am I to say? That's why I kind of just keep my beliefs to myself, because people are just gonna laugh probably.
No, this is why you're welcome to open all that up here, man. Like I was saying, my favorite psychological theorist was Abraham Maslow, and his definition of love was the ability to commit yourself to promote happiness and growth in the other person, regardless of your own feelings. He also came up with the hierarchy of needs, but one thing is that he didn't get to finish his theory on how we're all connected to the cosmos. And that would pretty much go right hand in hand with your belief on, how we can be immortal. If we're talking about immortal in this shell that we're in right now, no. But immortal as far as your consciousness, being able to survive in a different dimension or go somewhere else, yeah, maybe. I
Yeah,
think.
because some people believe that reincarnation, you just get sent right back to where you began, born another time, and until you get it, until you realize that love is the key to getting out of this matrix. That's one theory. But mine is perhaps maybe you do get to exit the matrix if if you develop true love. Because I don't think you can do it alone. When you and your partner, and then maybe that's the key to, if not immortality, then the life that we're supposed to proceed to next. If death is a must, right?
Yeah. Well, cool, man. Any closing thoughts? Anything you want to tell the people besides buy the book? Looking forward to you starting up that channel again. Maybe you can announce that here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the Truth Channel definitely. After I write that second book, but what I would like people to know is don't forget about my movie, because what I would like to do is just be a content producer for online courses, but they're just pretty much movies that you watch, because there is no other website that'll host movie distribution. So that's why I chose an online course site. So I'd like to do, be an online course creator, but it's just pretty much educational movies, documentaries, if you will. That's what I would love to get into, more than book writing at the moment.
Cool. Well, I'm going to leave a link to the book in the description. And if you have a link to the movie, you can share with me. I'll put that in there. However people will get to it. Yeah. But I want to thank you, man. Thanks for coming on board again and telling us about your book, and a great conversation about so many topics.
Thank you so much for actually reading the book so fast. I mean, it was so impressive. Like, we just met and boom, you just ordered the book. I'm so thankful for what you've done, because that was my goal, was to be able to talk about something I've created, and to be able to talk about it. It's just so rewarding, after all those 800 plus hours, of constant editing and flow and everything. So thank you so much for being such a quick learner and so open-minded.
Thanks, man. One of my favorite things about reading books is being able to share my insight and thoughts about it with somebody else who read it. But this is a great rare occasion. My second time I've been able to talk to the author of a book that I read. You know, we had D.B. McCrae. Shout out to D.B. McCrae, who wrote the books Rise of the Oathbreakers Part 1 and 2. I'll leave links to those in there as well. But definitely get yourself a copy of Benjamin Ramos's book, Perfect Soulmates. What's the subtitle to it?
Love Requires Perfection. It's all about
Love
perfection.
Right on. Yeah. Yeah, you do cover that a lot in there. And yeah, man, I appreciate everything you've done to educate me with that book, and I thank you for your support for this channel, and thank you for supporting Eli's channel where I met you. Shout out to Eli, the people's guy. I'll leave a link to his channel too in the description.
Right. I don't know if I can give a quick shout out to a few people.
Please,
really quick.
do.
All right. Big shout out to David Finkel. He's a First Amendment auditor and also a veteran. He bought 2 copies of my book so he can read it with his sweetheart together. So that's going to take longer. Vegas VIPs for introducing me to David Finkel. He's also a First Amendment auditor. And last but not least, Variable News Network. He's a supporter of the Constitution and a truth seeker, also a veteran. And he just recently watched my movie, and he has big things coming up on his channel. And for my channel, it's always free content, so stop by too.
Cool. Yeah, I'll have links to all those people's channels in the description once I get them all together. But yeah, man, thanks again to you, and thanks to everybody who's watching now in the future, and thanks to these folks in the chat. But also, thank you guys. Any questions, comments, agreements, disagreements? We were doing some during, but at last chance. If not, then I want to thank you guys, and thank you again, Ben. I call you Ben, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Please. So many people are like perfect soulmates. I'm like, my name's Ben. I put it on the screen all the time. So thank you. Thank you for always addressing me by Ben. You know, my name. You're the only one who does it so far.
Yeah, no, that's how you send your email, so I figured it was okay. But yeah, man, right. I'll email you my number too, so we could talk on WhatsApp. I guess that'd be a lot easier than just exchanging emails. And
yeah, absolutely.
You're planning on living out there for a while?
Yeah, we're gonna see how it goes. Like I said, I sold my car, gave up my apartment, and said, you know what, I'm gonna do this. We're both gonna do this, and see how far I can go, and hopefully I succeed.
I bet you will, man. You get a good head on your shoulders. So good luck, and thanks again for coming on here, and thanks to everybody. And yeah, man, Germany is a cool country. So I hope you have a good night there, and hope you succeed. Que siga triunfando, mano. Tú y su mujer.
Sí, igualmente. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much.
All right, brother. Stick around. I'm going to end the stream, but we can still talk.